Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before we get started, I just want you to go ahead and like and subscribe so that you can go ahead and get notifications when I post new videos. So it's been a while since I did a actual video that wasn't a short, and I wanted to follow up. The last video that I did, I said that I was going to be coming back to you. It had been a while. I was going to be doing some DIY projects. As you guys know, I like to do. I'm a huge foodie, so I would also be taking you around to some of the places that I go to eat and cooking some of the meals that I love to cook. And during that time, a lot has transitioned. I've received my real estate license in New Jersey and Pennsylvania, and I've learned a lot in less than a year, and I want to be able to share that information with you. And a lot of the information that I've learned outside of other real estate agents and professionals has come from YouTube videos. And when I was starting my journey, especially with taking the test, there were so many things that I wanted to know. So I would go on YouTube and I would Google how to pass the test, what to study for on the test, what's the process of the test. And so I decided to make a video on my process and what I did to prepare myself. So I do need to pull out because I am on my way to the building department to pull some permits for a listing that has a septic tank. So I'm on my way there. So I'm going to bring you guys with me, and we're just going to talk, and I'm going to tell you what I did to prepare for the New Jersey real estate exam. I took the New Jersey real estate exam first, and then 6 months later I took the Pennsylvania exam. But what I'm going to focus on for these videos would be New Jersey, because that's where I'm actively licensed and practicing. So in July of 2020, I decided that I wanted to get into real estate. And I won't say I decided in July 2022. I'll say that that's when I decided to take action. I had been thinking about it for a while. I've always really loved everything real estate and home decor and all of those things. And so there was an interest there. But like everyone else, I was working and doing other things. But after 2020 and the pandemic, I decided I wanted to do something different. So July, which was last summer, July of 2022, I took a 2-week intensive real estate course virtually. So it was a remote course, and for those 2 weeks I went every day from 8:30, I believe it was, to 4:30. And I will actually link the school that I went to in New Jersey in the description below, because I feel like it is a phenomenal program, and they do have also in-person classes. So if you're interested in that, you can do that as well. But anyway, I took this class. I finished the class. In order to graduate from the class, you have to take a practice exam, and I believe it was an 80% you had to get. I took that. I passed it. And I'm going to say that I felt comfortable with the in-class test, and I think that was because I'm getting a test from the same place that gave me the information. And this is important because when I finished the class and I finished the test, now it was time to go ahead and study and prepare for the exam. My thought was, don't let too much time pass between the time that I completed the class and the time that I take the test, because everything is fresh and it's just so much information. And when they say you'll never use most of it, again, you won't, but there's just a lot of information. So I had given myself 2 weeks to study. I went ahead and started to do, actually, while the class was still going, the first thing that I recommend, depending on your state, is to go ahead and get your background check done and your fingerprinting done. Get that out of the way. Because that usually takes about 10 days. And so I did that during the class. Once the class was over, I then went and took 2 weeks to study. And during those 2 weeks, I'm not gonna lie, it was all about real estate. And I mean, I immersed myself so much to the fact that when I would get in the car, The only thing that I would listen to would be vocabulary, either vocabulary through YouTube videos or just vocabulary that I had on tape. I would just listen to vocabulary about real estate over and over and over again. So that's what I did when I was in the car. At home, I didn't really go over my notes, but I did use CompuCram. And again, I will also put that in the description. And that allowed me to, that was a really effective tool for me because it allowed me to take a assessment exam at the beginning to see where I was in terms of my ability to pass the test. So the very first assessment exam I took through CompuCram, I received a 60 overall, and each section is broken down, whether it's licensing or policy. There's a math section, so it's like 5 different sections. So from there, after you take the assessment, they're feeding you questions. Obviously, they're going to feed you the questions you know, but there's going to be different questions that focus on the areas that you were deficient in. And that's what really, really worked for me. So I spent at least a couple of hours every day going through CompuCram. And then after that, I would read the text. And then as the test got closer, I got really nervous because there were things that I was seeing that I didn't know or hadn't heard of. So I went on, a friend of mine sent me a really phenomenal video from YouTube, and I'm gonna also put that in description, and it was a game changer. I was able to watch these videos and do the vocabulary to the point where I knew it and I felt confident. So the day of the test comes, I'm still nervous because I want to pass. Everybody knows that I've been taking this exam. I want to get started. I want to get going. I get to the exam place and I did not do it virtually. I did it in person, and they are very strict. You cannot have your cell phone. You need to arrive on time. Obviously, they're going to check your ID. You're only going to have a piece of paper, a pencil, and I brought a calculator with me that was just regular, and they were like, no, put that in the locker, and they gave me theirs. So that's really all you have for the exam is a pencil, a calculator, and your piece of paper, and then you're put into a room with, I think there were 6 or 7 other people in the room with me, and you have these divided desks, and there's a camera there above each desk just to make sure that you are not cheating. And then you have 4 hours to complete the exam. I want to say I probably used about just over 3 hours, if I can remember correctly. And the test was 110 questions, and you needed, I believe, and I'll correct this if I'm wrong, you needed at least a 75 to pass. And for me, I think the thing that I was worried about probably the most was the math questions. And I'll do another video about that in the future, but it wasn't that bad. I probably got 5 or 6 math questions, and I'm pretty sure I got 4 of those right. And I say I'm pretty sure because they don't really give you a printout in New Jersey anyway. They give you a printout. If you fail, then they tell you the questions that you need to work on and the questions that you got incorrect. But if you pass, you just get a sheet that says congratulations, you passed, or just pass, and it'll tell you the number of correct answers you received overall. So I passed. I was very excited. Is it a hard test? Yes. I mean, if somebody says it's not, then good for them, but it is not easy. It's not one of those tests you can just wing it and hope for the best. You will fail. You need to prepare. You need to study. You need to be meticulous, and you need to set aside time. I had the time to be able to devote a lot to it. I wasn't working at the same time because once I decided to go into real estate, I had quit the job that I was working at the time. So I had a lot of time to devote to it. But if you don't have a lot of time, then you just need to be really strategic and how you spend your time. So I'm not going to go any further. Again, this was just like a really brief video. I will try and do something more specific on, you know, the type of questions that were there. Well, I can't really tell you the type of questions, but what I felt like my questions were focused on. And then I want to do a lot of videos just about how this first year has gone, because I've learned so much in a short period of time. I absolutely love real estate. And if you're thinking about going into real estate, I know you're going to love it as well. So comment below, let me know any other topics you want me to talk about, anything that you want clarity on. And, you know, just welcome. I am excited to be able to share this journey with you.